Okay, so today we're diving deep. We're going right back to the ultimate beginning. Imagine this endless cosmic void. Nothing there. No sky, no earth, no light, not even sound. And then from that emptiness emerges Lord Brahma, often called the creator of the universe.
Right. And he appears in a couple of really symbolic ways, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's from a golden cosmic egg, the Hiranyagarbha.
Mm.
Other times he's shown emerging from this beautiful lotus flower.
Yeah, the one blooming from Lord Vishnu's navel. Seen that depiction many times. So our goal for this deep dive is really to explore Brahma, his, symbolism, what his role actually is in creation, and also touch on the surprising fact that he's not widely worshipped. We want to get to the principle he embodies. Okay, let's unpack this.
Exactly. And what's so interesting about Brahma is he's more than just a figure. He's almost a concept personified. That emergence you mentioned from the void or the lotus, it's not just a birth story. It symbolizes the origin of the universe itself. Creation springing from, well, pure thought, pure potential.
Pure potential. I like that.
And when you look at depictions of him, those four faces are really striking. They're said to face the four cardinal directions, signifying he sees everything. And they also stand for the four Vedas, the ancient foundational scriptures.
Ah, the source of knowledge.
And the four yugas, those vast cycles of cosmic time. So he oversees space, knowledge, and time. And look at what he holds in his hands, usually the Vedas themselves.
The knowledge again.
Right. A water pot, signifying purity, the means of life. A mala, or rosary beads, for concentration and the cycles of time. And often a lotus flower. Each one reinforces this idea. For Brahma, creation isn't just brute force. It's deeply connected to wisdom, purity, and knowledge.
So he's not just like a builder god hammering things out. He embodies the act of creation and the knowledge behind it. It's different from Vishnu, who preserves things, or Shiva, the transformer or destroyer. Brahma's whole deal is originating the blueprint.
Precisely. He's the grand architect. He conceptualized and shaped, well, everything. The stars, the concept of time, life itself, even the other gods in some narratives. It's said he brought forth beings like the Prajapatis.
The sort of progenitors of humanity?
Exactly, those ancient forefathers.
Yeah.
And the rishis, the great sages, all born from his mind, his consciousness, to then populate the universe. It's a complete vision of Genesis, really, born from thought and intention.
Okay, so he's the source, the mind behind it all.
Yes. But, and this is fascinating, even that immense power born from thought isn't without its lessons. Which brings us to that paradox you mentioned. Why isn't he worshipped more, despite this absolutely pivotal role?
Right. It seems counterintuitive.
It does. And the stories explaining this are quite revealing about creation itself. There's a well-known one where, out of pride or perhaps attachment, he grows a fifth head to constantly gaze upon Goddess Saraswati, his own creation and consort.
A bit of ego creeping in.
Seems so. And Lord Shiva, representing detachment and the necessary destruction of ego, removes that fifth head. It was a lesson in humility, a reminder about truth over pride. Another legend tells of him lying, trying to prove his superiority over Vishnu.
Oh, dear. That doesn't sound good for a creator god.
Not really. And Shiva, hearing this lie, is said to have cursed him, decreeing that he wouldn't receive widespread worship on earth.
And that's largely held true. You find very few temples dedicated solely to Brahma. The most famous is probably the one in Pushkar in Rajasthan.
Wow, so even the ultimate creator isn't above lessons in, basic humility and truthfulness. Maybe his limited worship isn't just a, historical accident then. Maybe it's part of the teaching.
I think that's a very insightful way to look at it.
What really strikes me is that Brahma isn't just a deity you pray to in a temple somewhere. He represents something more fundamental. He embodies that sheer power of thought, of imagination, the very process of creating something new.
Exactly. It's the principle that any act of creation, bringing something into being, must be guided by wisdom, by truth, not just raw power or desire.
Precisely. If we pull back and look at the grand scheme, Lord Brahma really teaches us that creation starts with knowledge, with a clear vision grounded in truth, and with wisdom as its foundation. He is, you could say, the silent architect behind existence, a constant reminder that wisdom and truth should guide every new beginning.
Absolutely. His story, as a whole narrative around him, it really makes you reflect, doesn't it? It makes you think about how creation, any kind of creation, isn't just about the making part. It's about the thought, the intention, the wisdom you bring to it.
Well put.
So for you listening, maybe take a moment to consider that. How does Brahma's principle, this idea of creation born from thought, guided by wisdom and truth, how might that apply in your own life? How can that guide your own acts of creation, whether they feel huge or, quite small? Something to think about.
The powerful thought to carry forward.
Definitely. Well, I think that brings us towards the end of this particular deep dive. It's been fascinating exploring Brahma's complexity.
It certainly has.
Yeah.
Always more to uncover.
Always. So, until next time, may your own thoughts create something meaningful. Thanks for joining us.